healthcare professionals want to do and say the right thing. We want to be as supportive as we can. A family with an unknown diagnosis at birth, it's kind of a gray area with healthcare providers. The purpose of this project is to help healthcare providers know what to say and how to be supportive in helping a family with an unknown diagnosis of Down syndrome, or even a family with a prenatal diagnosis of Down syndrome, and how to be the most supportive they can possibly be for this family.
If I could go back to the time of diagnosis and tell myself one thing, it would probably be take a deep breath. Just take it as a grain of salt for now, and you'll grow into what you're just experiencing. I know it can be scary, but just relax for now and wait till you can wrap your head around it.
It would be to stop worrying so much and to enjoy it. Just like any other newborn, you need to enjoy. I mean, I look back and it's okay to feel and to let yourself feel. So cry out as much as you need to, get all your crying out, get it all out of your system, and let yourself enjoy and embrace this new baby, because it is just a beautiful newborn, just like any other newborn.
I would probably just say to myself, everything's gonna be okay. It's just take it one day at a time, and your life is gonna be awesome. He's going to change your world, change your family.
If I could change one thing about how our diagnosis was delivered, I would definitely change the fact that they took Indy from our room and she wasn't there when they delivered the news. If I would have been holding Indy when they delivered the news, I think I would have taken it so much better. I think we both would have, because you see this beautiful baby, you're holding them, and you can't help but love them and connect with them when you're holding them. So.
And then, you know, I would say that our doctor was really good at sitting us down. Will was with us. Jump in whenever you want. Will was with us when Nikki was holding Will, and he just started talking to us about Down syndrome, and he noticed some attributes, and there's some tests that they needed to do, but so yeah, that
he was pretty, you know, he was so positive about it, and you know, this is actually a blessing to your family, and he is going to be awesome. He's going to do amazing things. You know, it's not something to be sad about, which, you know, we've heard other people's stories of their diagnosis, and ours was amazing. Like, our doctor was really, really good.
If I had to offer a bit of advice to a practitioner with a diagnosis that has a diagnosis of family with Down syndrome, that's a really hard one. It's really hard to prepare. It's like, can you prepare to be in a car accident? You know, can you prepare to go through something traumatic? I think the big thing for me is that you gotta understand that every situation is different and each person is different. And sometimes people need 5 or 10 minutes to cope, or sometimes people need 5 or 10 hours to cope and understand what's going on. I think as a practitioner, you have to understand who you're dealing with and what the circumstances are, and then figure out the best way to help them through that. That's a really, really hard thing, not just for the parents, but for a practitioner to go through as well.
Get to know the diagnosis a little bit, help people understand what it really is, and maybe take the medical side out of it a little bit, and remember that for these new parents, this is a super emotional thing, and being bombarded with medical information is incredibly daunting and scary. So maybe step back and think of it in a parental way, and how would you want to, you know, be told something like this that would maybe be a life-altering thing? How, you know, think of this in a way that's not as medical as it is emotional for a minute.
I just wanted to know, like, simple things, like people with Down syndrome can have jobs. People with Down syndrome can do amazing things in life. And
they can go to college, they can live on their own.
Exactly. And so our doctor was great about explaining those things to us. Like, yeah, there's going to be some challenges. All children are, you know, have their little challenges, but people with Down syndrome can live very productive lives. And so that was really great for us. He didn't talk anything about the negative, you know, and that's what we needed. We needed that time to just kind of know that things are going to be okay. We're gonna have to figure out some stuff, but it was going to be all right.
For every provider involved, what I would recommend is not to say you're sorry. So after they told us Indy had Down syndrome, all we kept hearing was, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And it was so sad because we wanted to be celebrating our baby girl. We had waited for her for so long, and we were excited to be parents, and we wanted to be celebrating. We were happy, and all we kept hearing was, "I'm so sorry," and it made it really hard. It made us think, should we be sad? We were sad, but should we be more sad? Should we be sorry too? So that would be my biggest thing, is congratulate the family on their new baby, because their new baby will be amazing.
Never say, "I'm sorry."
No,
Never say that. That's something that's right off the bat. That's the one thing, if you can do that, just make sure that doesn't happen.
What I was looking for is just a clear answer, I guess. And I think medical professionals are trained to kind of, because they don't have the 100% answer, and they don't want to pin themselves down to something. But I think for me, I'm more, for me, I actually very much appreciated one, because the first nurse who brought up the question, she says, "Well, did you test for this?" And we said yes, and the test came back negative. It was fine. And she said, "Oh, then it's probably nothing." So then we're in limbo. Whereas another nurse, I said, "Can you? I know you hate to put a number to it, but could you just, from your experience, what's the chances we're looking at?" And I said, "Do you think it's 95%? She says, "Oh, it's over 95%." Because you can't, until you have the chromosomal test, it's hard to be that definitive.
It's hard to ask that of people because...
But I appreciated her going out on a limb and saying, because that way we could just accept it and start working on the resolution, rather than just, well, it's still a maybe, and because how long did the chromosome test take to get back?
It took 5 days.
Oh,
yeah.
So it was nice. I appreciated her putting a number to it, and so.
What I would like to say to you, if you just had a child with Down syndrome, is that your life is about to become so beautiful, so much more beautiful than you could ever have imagined. These children bring such a light into the world, and we really, I went from feeling devastated about Down syndrome to feeling like we really are the lucky few, as we call it in this community. We are the lucky few that get these amazing children and their bright lights in our lives forever. So congratulations.
And you're going to hear that a lot from people as over the next few weeks and the next few months, as you introduce your baby into the world. You're going to hear a lot of people, especially people from inside the Down syndrome community, tell you how lucky you are and tell you how blessed you are, and how you kind of struck gold having a kid with Down syndrome. And that's hard to understand from your end. That's hard to understand from the beginning and thinking, why are these people saying that? But over time, that really is the case. So if you don't understand it, you don't feel that way now, just give it time, because you will. You'll understand, and you'll see why these people say that.
One thing I would say is immerse yourself in the Down syndrome community. It'll help ease your mind. It'll help give you confidence as a mom or dad that everything's going to be okay. Find as many families on social media, in your neighbor, in your community, and get to know them. And it'll bring you so much joy just watching their family, and of all ages. And because right now your baby's a baby, and he's precious, or this baby is precious, and they're just a baby, and they don't walk and talk, and you're not having to go through therapies and things yet, but you can see your future as you follow these other people, and know that it's going to be okay, that they're going to bring your family so much joy. They're going to learn to walk. They're going to communicate, sometimes in their own way, but they're going to communicate. They're going to go to school, and everything's going to be okay.
With the proper resources and education, the transition for this family to this new chapter in their life will be smoother and filled with joy.